Morning everyone. Today's chat is on focus and perspective. I'm Casey from Melbourne REIKI and Wellness, and it's been really interesting to notice the different reactions from people since the announcement on Sunday about the roadmap to get out of lockdown in Melbourne. I know there are definitely mixed reactions from many people, and it's really interesting to notice how people see the world or what they perceive this roadmap to mean for them, and then their emotional reactions that occur after that. I've been working a lot with clients on this ripple effect from the middle of the circle to the ripples outwards, and I always tell my clients that the center of the circle is your energy. The first ripple effect outside of that is your mind. So in other words, your thoughts, your self-talk, your perception, your perspective. The next ripple out is your emotions. In other words, what you think about, what you focus on, how you talk to yourself in your mind, how you see the world, that all has a really strong impact on your emotional center. So how you feel or the feelings that you're experiencing. The next layer out of that is the physical body. So our thoughts will then affect our emotions, which then affect our physical body as well. Today, I just really want to focus on that first ripple and the second ripple. So your mind and your emotions. A lot of negative perspectives out there about this roadmap, and absolutely for sure. I mean, people are doing it tough, me, myself included. You know, run a small business, and it's been quite challenging for sure over the months, the long extended lockdown. However, changing your perspective and changing what you focus on is going to create a different emotional response within your own body. No one can tell you what to focus on or what to think. Only you can be really in charge of your thoughts and your mind. And so knowing that that's your power, that is your superpower, literally, to change your mind, you can then impact how you feel or the emotions that you experience. Let me give you an example. A lot of people out there, after the roadmap has come out with the announcements of, you know, like when things will eventually open up and all the different, layers to that, there could be a perspective of seeing that and feeling really depressed, really anxious, really nervous, really scared, etc. Those emotional states, the nervousness and anxiousness and scared or being afraid, they come from a mindset of, what does that mean for me? This is still so far in the future. I don't know if I'm going to be able to work in these conditions. What does that look like for my business? And it's kind of almost like a negative, it's almost like wearing the opposite of rose tinted glasses, of looking at the world in a less than positive view. So for example, there's going to be so many more people that get COVID. There's going to be this, there's going to be that. That's going to impact my business and my life and my family, etc., etc. But those type of thoughts, and I'm not saying that they're bad or good in any way. There's absolutely no judgment in that. But those thoughts then create an emotional response. And for you as an individual, it can be worth taking some time to reflect on how you're actually feeling. Am I feeling anxious? Is my heart racing? Am I getting tense in my shoulders? Am I tense in my body? Do I get physical effects like headaches or aches and pains or other mysterious illnesses or diseases that start to arise? Knowing that those physical impacts come from maybe an emotional response that comes from a less than positive mindset or headspace that kind of creates that ripple effect. The other way of looking at it is, of course, finding the positive light in the situation, because every single situation has a light side and a dark side. That is the yin and yang of the universe. And so depending on how we look at the situation will create a different emotional response. For me personally, I look at the roadmap and I actually got really excited because I could finally see some light at the end of the tunnel. There was actually a plan in place, for better or worse. Of course, there's no plan that's going to be perfect for every single person in Melbourne or in Victoria. So we know that, okay, it's not going to be a perfect fit for me, but I can focus on the areas that do give me a bit of light and a bit of excitement and a bit of positivity. And for me, it's like, okay, well, end of October, that looks like around about the time that I'll be able to open up and see clients in person again. I know that I can most likely run my retreat in December, which is really exciting. Yes, I would definitely need to move another Reiki course. I think it's like the 5th time I've moved this course, but that's okay because I know that the next time I move it, I would definitely be able to run it. And I think that's really exciting. And you know what, even if it doesn't go ahead for whatever reason, maybe there's another outbreak or maybe there's something that happens. I mean, ultimately you can never control the future, right? We don't know what's going to happen. So if it does, I know that I've got the strength and capability to then move it again because we've been through that enough times before. I know the drill. So I'm looking at this map out of lockdown in a positive light, the most positive light that's going to help me feel positive emotions, which is then going to have a really positive impact on my physical body as well. The same situation can be viewed from many, many, many different angles. And I think this is the problem at the moment that we're experiencing as an individual. We think that everyone should see the same information or the same situation in the same way that we do. But that's never going to happen because everyone is a different human being and we all come from different stories, different backgrounds, different, experiences. So depending on my background, I'm going to look at the situation a little bit differently to my sister, for example, or to my friend or to my partner or whatever it might be. No one is going to look at the same situation in the same way. And part of being human, being a respectful human being, is to understand that and to understand that everyone has their own opinions and views because they've come from different areas, they've come from different experiences. No single person is going to be the same as you. And that's actually beautiful. That's great because that's how we get creative and we create innovation and we have discussions and we learn things from each other. If everyone was exactly the same as us, I mean, the world would be a very boring place and we would never learn anything. We would never grow. So please be respectful of others around you that may disagree with your views. Know that other people are dealing with their own stuff and that's totally okay. But find the power within yourself to go, okay, well, if I'm not feeling good for whatever reason, that's a result of maybe my mindset. Maybe there's another way to look at the same situation. And if you're not feeling good, then maybe it's like, okay, well, maybe I'm looking at the negative. How can I ask myself different questions to be able to find the positive in the situation? Maybe it's as simple as that. What is the positive in this situation? Your brain is kind of like Google. You type into Google a question and it will come up with all the answers. Your brain is exactly the same. You ask it a question and it will come up with all of the answers. So ask really good quality questions and that will set you in good state for finding really positive answers. The mind is really interesting. It can only hold about 7 to 9 things at one time. There is like a billion gazillion things happening in the world around us, but we are blissfully unaware of majority of the things that are happening around us because if we were aware of everything, our mind would explode from overload, sensory overload. So we only focus on about 7 to 9 things at any moment in time, which is really good for us. It's a positive thing because we only focus on the things that are most important to us. For example, if I'm driving along the road, being a yoga teacher, I will always notice people holding a yoga mat, people in workout gear, a yoga studio sign, whatever it might be, because it's within my realm of passion. It's something that I do all the time. I talk about it all the time. I'm interested in. It's within my focus. Someone else who doesn't ever do yoga, has never done it in their life, doesn't really care about it, won't notice those things. They might be noticing like the fancy cars or whatever their other passion is. And that's okay. That's great. So check in with what you're focusing on. Check in on what's most important to you and try and focus your attention on the things that is going to give you joy or bring pleasure to your life or give you that excitement or that enthusiasm or that inspiration. If you're always looking at the things that are bringing you down, of course you're going to feel down. But if you change your focus, and you do have the power to do this yourself, if you change your focus, then know that your thoughts will be different and the things that you feel, the emotions that you experience, they will also be different as well. Sometimes I understand that it's easier said than done. It definitely takes practice. There is a little exercise that I like to practice myself. It's called the newspaper strategy. It's my little secret, but I'm happy to share it with you because it's so amazing. Sometimes when I'm feeling down or I'm not in a good headspace, because let's face it, that happens to all of us being human, I feel a little bit down and then I become aware of it pretty quickly because I'm trained in this. This is what I've been practicing. So I notice myself feeling down and I think, whoa, okay, time out here. This is not helping me in any way, shape or form. And often this is like right before I go to bed when I'm reflecting on the day and I might be worried or stressed about something. I'm like, oh, Casey, okay, time out. In my mind's eye, I imagine an open sheet of newspaper. And then I kind of, in my mind, I gather up all of my thoughts from this particular thought process or this negative thoughts or, negative emotions. I gather all of those thoughts up. I pretend to dump them in the newspaper. Then I roll the newspaper up into a little ball and I throw it out my window. And then the most powerful thing is that I'm left with a fresh sheet of newspaper in which I can choose my next thought. And that action of noticing that, hey, like actually I can choose my next thought. I'm not at the mercy of my thoughts that randomly pop in. I can actually take back control and redirect my focus into something that's going to make me feel a little bit better. Sometimes I think to myself, okay, I've done this like 5 million times. There's probably a pile of newspapers outside my window right now, but that's okay because practice helps. And then the more that you do it, the better you get at it. So it's a lot faster as you do this more often. Sometimes now I go, oh, this is a negative thought. I catch myself in the middle of the thought and I think, oh, okay, dump that thought, roll it up, throw it away, fresh newspaper, redirect my attention. And I physically almost have to pull my mind in a different direction so that I can focus on something that is going to be a way more empowering and way more positive feeling in my body. If you have any questions on how to do this, if you're interested in how to take back control of your mind, change your focus so that your attention is on something more positive, you can then feel a little bit more positive, and then maybe your body will start to rebalance and heal as well, please get in contact with me. I am still offering distant Reiki sessions and also online coaching sessions, which is great for learning this information. I'll put my contact details below, but please don't hesitate to reach out. I would absolutely love to hear from you. Until then, have a wonderful rest of the day. See you for now.